Think about that. Ladies and gentlemen, fuck you, Dylan.
There you go.
It's all fucking. I'm not. I woke up at fucking 4 a.m. with gas pains. I farted and shit a bunch. Did not
Ooh,
sleep.
like a baby.
I'm a little baby. Someone rubbed my belly. Someone burped me. The nipples are. The nurples are chafed.
Honey, burp me with your mouth on my butt. Suck my butt.
Yeah, suck my butt. Suck the farts out. Suck the gas out. It's like I've been bit by a snake. Dylan, we're talking about someone that we've been calling Tara Valkyrie for years
Yes.
by ignoring this request, but it's actually Taya Valkyrie or Taya. Either way, let me say this right now. This woman was trained by Lance Storm, and I guarantee is not that fun of a person. I'm going to say it right now. I guarantee this person, she has the face of someone who smoked a lot while their kids played hockey.
No, she's literally just French.
Is she?
Yes.
Come on, man. But she's from Slam City.
Larry Cantor Jr., thank you very much for your donation. Here's your fucking episode, motherfucker.
Yeah, Larry Cantor, fucking piss man. Do you understand what kind? We're fucking professional wrestling broadcast journalists. We don't talk about people that are still in MLW. We talk about people who have left MLW because of charges, right, Dylan?
Oh, and you know what? The worst thing about Tara Valkyrie is she got fired.
Her name is Taya, which is stupid. Her name should be Tara Valkyrie, which sounds
You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, Taya. You know what the worst thing about this fucking loser is that she got fired from WWE, not even for anything that was a crime. She just got surplused near Christmas. Fucking idiot.
She didn't get fired for the normal reason a woman gets fired. Vince McMahon was like, I want you to suck my dick. And then they were like, what? And they're like, we don't want to do that. And then he's like, I gave a man a bat, and now there's a pandemic. I could fire everyone who didn't want to see my dick. And then Taya Valkyrie, can I still work here? No. That's what they said to her. You're boring.
First of all, here's how that pandemic happened is I broke into a lab and released something because I wanted a new character called Dr. Virus, and now there's a fucking pandemic. What is this?
I want you all to remember the fucking Dean Ambrose's fucking angle where he wore a mask and was afraid of germs, and then he gave Roman cancer because he injected him. I did COVID. I keep it kayfabe. I'm kayfabe. Where's fucking Paul? I want to punch him in his chest.
Here's the thing about Taya Valkyrie is that she. No, it's Taya.
It's Tara Valkyrie. Don't act like we're not doing a Mike Sanders episode.
Sorry, I'm gonna call her only by her WWE name then, Frankie Monet.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go by the meanest. Yeah, what is your? Are you French? I mean, my parents are from Quebec. You're named after Monet, Frankie Monet, because French people are boys.
She did get to pick this name herself, and the other thing about it is that she did cry on a podcast after she was released, so it is not good.
All right, Dylan, making me feel a bit bad about the bullying tone this episode took off the top. I feel
if she didn't cry for like 40 minutes, then I was ready to bully this woman, John. I was ready, but then she's crying, and it's like,
oh shit. You should have told me about the crying. I just knew that she was trained by Lance Storm, so I just assumed that she was like, all right, first lesson is why you should never put anything on toast.
She gets into wrestling in my really not unlike, oh my god, who did this? Who was an amateur wrestler but just so they could get into professional wrestling? There was someone like that. Was it Dolph Ziggler?
It was Dolph. Yeah. It was me.
So the female equivalent of that is she was in fitness competitions because she knew Trish Stratus and Lita did that.
Fuck yeah.
She's our age. So she was like, oh, okay, that's how I do this. She gets into fitness competitions. She's a skinny kid. She's in ballet. She gets into fitness competitions, becomes jacked, gets into wrestling full stop at 26, which for a woman is like, if I got into wrestling in 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. Like basically she walked into the ring, and the first problem she had is they had to clean the area outside the ring because the 3 scouts for the WWE threw up and one of them committed suicide. They later claimed Pat Patterson died of a heart attack. He died when he saw Taya Valkyrie get in the ring, and they were like, how old is she? 26? And he's like, the fact that I've seen this means Vince McMahon's going to kill me. And then he committed suicide. Yeah, Pat Patterson stabbed himself in the chest when he found out Taya Valkyrie was. He's like, I can't believe my eyes have now been destroyed. He yelled as he died, and then they covered up his death. Go ahead.
Oh, just saying she was on a reality show with Lance Storm called World of Hurt, which I assume was just Lance telling you how to make rice with no salt. And then they're
This-
like, oh, does it taste good? And he'd be like, no, that's not the point of rice.
Also, this was yeah, exactly.
Rice is to make you dry, and then you don't have water because we don't deserve it.
This is my wife. You do not get to know her name.
You know, everyone focuses on the part of working out that is the exercise. They want to know how to do that part. Equally as important is the sleep. So my reality show will just be me sleeping for 30 minutes. Deep REM, no movement, just sleep.
I remember one time Chris Jericho told me a knock knock joke, and I thought it was inaccurate because I could see him and he made the noise knock knock and he did not knock on any piece of wood. That is my third lesson when it comes to promos. Always be truthful.
I feel like knock knock jokes are disgusting because no one really knocks anymore. You ring the doorbell, so it should be ring ring jokes. And then I left the country immediately.
I'll tell you what I find unseemly, and that's stand-up comedy. No one asked these people to be funny. They just assumed I wanted to see something be funny in the room above the casino in Calgary. I wanted that room to remain empty so I could sit there with my thoughts while my wife gambled.
Hey, buddy, you're not laughing very much. That's because I think you should just talk to your wife instead of doing this whole performance. You can't be getting paid enough to make this worth it.
I'm going to be totally honest. I don't believe all of these jokes actually occurred in the way that you are saying they did.
This is ludicrous. But anyway, she gets trained by Lance Storm. And really, if she was a man,
here's the
would have been
biggest
good.
compliment you can pay Lance Storm. I guarantee she was never sexually harassed, but she's scarred in much weirder ways. Like Lance Storm, she walked into a room and Lance Storm was just sticking and unsticking a Post-it note back together, and he was just like, "This is push-ups for my brain because I enjoy the noise."
Yeah, Lance Storm most likely it was less like when you go to a school in the South where they just take your money and then just try and fill you up. Lance Storm was more like being in church like, how'd you make me this thing I've wanted to learn since I was a kid boring? It takes a lot of work, and I pride myself in that.
Yeah, the thing to know about anything is it's not supposed to be fun, which is why I've ruined so many orgies. That's the Lance Storm.
Well, this doesn't look very safe.
I think you're probably aware that this is an illusion that this is helping your relationship.
The amount of fluids in this room is disgusting. I will be washing each of you as you have sex, and not in a fun way.
I want to let all of you know, based on the amount of interaction you've had with fluids, a shower before you get into your car, especially if you have fabric seats, is advisable.
Yeah, he just holds them down because he's so strong, like I do my kid, and be like, "You're bathing before you get in your car."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm washing your penis, and then none of this is fun.
Everyone at a sex party is a baby to Lance Storm, and he goes there just to enforce hygiene rules. There were going to be snacks, but the amount of you that are naked, I had them thrown out because that is inappropriate.
Here's the crazy thing. She moves to Mexico and basically has to beg to be something other than a valet. One of my favorite tidbits about her early career is that she worked at Cowboys and Barry, which, if you ever seen the movie Coyote Ugly, but worse.
Oh, yeah. Can we talk about, first of all, everyone needs to know this, and I hope you're all strapping in for another Tales from the Road of stand-up comedy in Canada in the 2010s, but that's when John and I, or Dylan and I'm John, we're spending a lot of time in Barrie.
No, I'm John.
Oh, you're John? I'm Dylan. Where's my son? That's my impression.
There you
of
go.
Yeah, pretty accurate. And then you answer the question. Oh, he's with my father-in-law. Barrie is if season 4 of Trailer Park Boys, when they become the trailer park manager, if that was a town, that town is Barrie, Ontario. That place is fucking wild.
My favorite thing about Barrie is that there's people, like, obviously during the pandemic, people bought things there because it's cheaper. And one of the best things about Barrie, Ontario, beautiful Barrie, Ontario, is that they made this downtown that's like a European. Honestly, it's kind of like Portugal, where there's like it's so cobblestone.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like nice cafes and stuff, which would be amazing if people from Barrie didn't live there. So all that means is there's what I would honestly refer to as table spots every Friday and Saturday, where someone just gets full fucking like pushed over into a table. It breaks. Like they have to like barricade the windows. It's beautiful.
For sure. The Yuck Yucks in Barrie closed. It was in an airplane hangar. I performed there once and someone got kicked out. They shouted the N-word at a white comedian, but they got kicked out for talking during the show. Greatest moment of my life. And the club moved downtown to that weird European area in Barrie, which Dylan is usually exaggerating. He is 100% fucking nailed it. It's Dudley Boys Devon Get the Tables every Friday and Saturday night in an area that looks like Belgium that is populated by guys wearing really puffy coats that let you know which hockey team is their favorite.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Oh, fuck yeah. And when they moved it into a rock bar. The owner of the rock bar and his son ran it. There was some disagreement with them. Either way, we got there. I remember I was with Mark Walker, who was an impressionist, and Darren Frost, and I was hosting. And I just know that the show ended early because a guy said to his girlfriend, "Here's my impression of you. You're a cunt."
Yeah, I really like Barrie. I was walking down the street with a full pizza one time, and then you can see when someone's trying to make fun of you, but they're not good at it. And the guy just went, "Pizza faggot." But it was like he saw me for a solid 15 seconds and he realized he was about to pass me without saying anything. And I was like, the whole time I was saying to him, like, dude, I look like so many things. Like, you could just call me, you could be Fat McLovin. You call me Fat McLovin.
He could have called you Fat McLovin. I mean, the fact that more people don't call you Fat McLovin really shows that Superbad has not been part of
opportunities. Like
call you Fat McLovin?
Cavalcade of people I look like. Like, when I lose weight, it looks like I'm just Buster from Arrested Development, which is like, that's why I've like always have a beard, where it's like, I'd rather look like the internet meme that right-wing guys go around than Buster from fucking Arrested Development. But anyway, yeah, that's what he did. He settled on the thing I was holding plus the word that he calls everything.
Yeah, he saw the thing that you were about to eat that he wanted to eat and the thing that he has to call you to prevent him from thinking about the thing he wants to do. Yeah. Oh my god. I gotta tell you, stuff. I was talking to someone about California, and I was like, California. I think I'm very comfortable in California because California is very much like Ontario, the province I grew up in, which is it has cities, and the cities are like liberal and fun and all that sort of stuff. But the cities are not populous. Are populated by people who grew up in those towns, and some people grow out of that sort of behavior, and some people do not. And I like living amongst fucking savages. Oh, Barrie, Ontario rules. Cowboys. I've never been there. Why were you at Cowboys, Dylan? Were you partying with Chris Quigley and who's another hilarious yucks person to be getting tuned up with in Barrie, Ontario in 2000?
Oh yeah, just a 50-year-old man you getting hammered with? No, where was I in Cowboys? Because I fucking party, bitch. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. You, Chris Quigley, Rob Ross, and that guy who used to book gigs, but he usually just called you to try and sell his Raptors tickets.
That's Derek Supple.
Derek Supple. Wild.
No. Well, Cowboys was really dope because
the song they played was Save a Horse Ride a Cowboy. Holy fuck.
It was during that era, yes, but it was mostly like these big clubs in Toronto where they would play like hip hop and everyone would be having fun. But like in those clubs, it's like people are dressed differently. In Cowboys, it was literally everyone was just dressed like their dad. Is the best way to describe it. But also like 19 years old and just like people talk about the amount of fights at like hip hop clubs, but it doesn't touch the amount of fights where in country bars where it's just like, are you looking at why aren't I good at talking to my dad? This is like they throw a big punch. So that's where Taya Valkyrie, Jesus Christ, started.
Taya Valkyrie.
Wrestling.
Love it. Yeah, she started wrestling in Cowboys. She was wrestling.
She wrestled the will to quit. And
she wrestled. Won. She wrestled a guy.
Oh, that's why I had StreamYard open. Wait a minute.
Oh, you butt face.
I had StreamYard open.
Oh, you're an absolute.
Yeah, there we go, baby. Oh god, and I just spilt a bunch of coffee on my shirt, and I was like, sick. I don't have any fucking way. And this is like the only time I've done one of these and not just straight up worn black. So
I know, right? That's the real mistake. Because here's the newsflash, Also, I assume that you're much like all wrestling recording. You're your cock's out from the bottoms out? Because I'm
Mm.
sure. I'm sure.
I am wearing track pants that I usually only use to paint a house. So
Oh yeah.
they are comfortable. They are also too Alexis, my wife was like, you shouldn't wear those because they're nice track pants. And I was like, don't tell me what to do, woman. And then immediately when I painted with them, I was like, she was very right.
Oh yeah. Of
I want to
course.
wear these outside and I can't now.
There is nothing more fucking annoying than when someone's like, "Hey, you don't want to do that," and you're like, "This is fucking." They don't even know what fucking shit they're talking about, and then
I'm not gonna fucking you can't tell me what to do. Your good advice can suck my dick.
exactly, and then the second their advice is proven right, you're like, "Well, they were right. That's good to know. I will repeat this."
I'm pretty pumped to talk about Taya Valkyrie because she is right in the wheelhouse of I have no fucking idea what happened to this person's career. And
Yeah, I have
like,
no idea. Like, it's
when would you
basically-
say you stopped watching wrestling to the point where you'd know who Taya Valkyrie is? Because she literally started wrestling. Well, she's 2 years older than us, and she really is. Jim Cornette would hate this, but she really is just the modern version of a territory wrestler because she's wrestling in like 19 companies at the same time.
Yeah, she's essentially just. And what's interesting about the indies is they basically recreated the territories in this weird way. If you think about it, like AEW
totally.
was kind of the culmination of that, and also as AEW continues just to become AEWCW. Let's be honest; I think that those indies are going to come back up again because what it has done is it's people have been like, we want an alternative, and then they're like, all right, well, if we're not going to get an alternative that we like, we're going to keep just making a new alternative until we get one that we enjoy. That said, I think it's just the times she was at the companies that I kept an eye on. I was not watching, like, Impact, gone. I was not watching Impact at any of this time. I was never a Lucha Underground guy. And I was not watching WWE that closely in 2021. Like, I just missed her all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's also one of those weird
It's like if she's if she's Jimmy Valiant and I lived in New York, like I just wouldn't know who the fuck this fucking.
Well, the other thing is she's Canadian, so she has to get these weird work visas. And then you're wondering, like, oh, Taya Valkyrie, she's so talented. Why doesn't she just do this and this? It's like, well, because she needs a fucking work visa.
This is the other thing that's so fun about being in show business is it becomes your job. And if you're not American or from the place that you're from that country, the amount of times it's like, why do you need to do that? And you're like, because I gotta. What the fuck? I remember once being sat down and being like, you spend too long in Canada over Christmas, and it's like, I have to apply for a visa. Not all of us are from the country we live in, and it's always like. Guys, like you have to relate to other people's experiences. And by the way, can I say this? Applying for visas every year, rather be dead.
Applying for a visa is horrible because if you've never done it, there's that moment where you're like, oh, I filled that out wrong and they're going to arrest me.
Yeah. Or there's that moment like, oh, you
got your own birthday wrong. Send them to the flogging chamber.
Yeah.
We start with soap and we work up from there. By the end, it's lashes.
That man told us the truth, and yet still we're going to kill him. You're like, why?
Yeah, exactly. But Taya Valkyrie started in Mexico, and it's kind of a lot like Brian Cage. You think about Jack Evans, people like this who gain all of their experience doing lucha wrestling. And I also think, I never really thought about this, but I think AAA is one of the best names for a wrestling company because
I absolutely. What the fuck does that mean?
It's a bunch of Spanish words because that's what they speak in Mexico.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, Dylan. I live in America. I have read Mexican history from the perspective of America. Here's how it goes. That's ours, though. That's the entire.
That's actually true because New Japan did it in English, so that's what they should do.
Just that America just declares that Spanish is no longer part of Mexican culture.
Use Spanish words. Use Spanish words. Use English words. Bend to us.
Yeah, exactly. Do what the Japanese have done. Bend to
Ass
our will
all
or
association. All ass association. AAA.
All ass association. I think AAA sounds great. I also like. I got to tell you my favorite wrestling names though. I like when it's just a word now. I really enjoyed Noah, Pride, Impact. I like that. It's fun.
I don't know. The three things always works for me because I feel like you can do the one word if you're a real sport, but if you're a fake sport, do you know wrestling's fake?
What?
Then and your whole thing is we're a fake sport. I don't know, maybe like Impact's like I think like killing people now or something. They're trying to like keep Lucha Underground or but like this is the weird thing about I think
they-
that indie wrestling now is kind of doing successfully what everyone in the territories tried to do in like the middle to late 80s, which was work together effectively.
Well,
But
the
they all
difference
had-
is that
yeah.
those territories were being run by like hereditary psycho asshole sons.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
Yeah, and and then indies are run by nerds. Us, if we went into stage management instead of stand-up comedy, we would run a indie wrestling company in Toronto.
Yeah. Or just like
wrestling.
just a bunch of people going, "Oh fuck, how do I pay for it?"
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
there's much of a scrambly. It's much like you're much less reticent to co-promote than when you remember that you remember just being a wrestler and being poor rather than like Vern Gagne remembers when he could own like 3 houses at the same time and thinks he genuinely thinks he's like, well, if I just put me back on top, I'll take out this WWE.
What it also feels like sometimes when it's dealing with the territory guys is it's like, well, if I start paying them fairly, I'll have to start paying the wrestlers fairly, and that's against the law.
And that I don't like.
Yeah, I'd rather be dead than help someone who's made sure that I've had a house.
So she comes to Lucha Underground, and that's pretty much her like dipping her toe into
It's weird.
actually being in North America.
So Lucha Underground sort of seems like, hey, are you really into anime? And welcome, you finally got your ECW. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, people like actually died. They wrote off characters because they died.
Yeah, people actually died. Wasn't there like, didn't it go away for an extra season because they're like, someone else bought the show? Like it was like really weird. Like they did a bunch of stuff. Like it seemed like someone was like, we're gonna do Shakira minus the grabbing plus the budget.
Yeah, it was Robert Rodriguez produced it, and also sorry, I lost my train of thought, and it is back. He seemed like his kind of idea was Mortal Kombat but with wrestling.
That's fun. And so it's back again?
No, it is done.
Yeah, because it was on it's not good. I don't think it was where like it's where,
I mean, before AEW, Lucha Underground people were like, I guess I watch this now. Like there was that little people just wanted wrestling, but they did not want WWE.
wrestling fans are we are such a weird audience base because it's like we want all of us have such specific tastes and we feel that our tastes are correct and should be catered to. I only like it when there's a woman being attacked in the ring by a man. Like, do you understand? Like some of the complaints, especially now, like the amount of people that are wanting to crucify Dave Meltzer because he quote unquote if you've been seeing this, like he's getting attacked for he reports misinformation and disinformation. And it's like, yeah, he's Dave Meltzer. We're not supposed to take this guy seriously, you fucking idiots.
Well, I do feel like Dave Meltzer's, I don't know if we talked about this, but his grift has like been ruined by the fact that he created pro wrestling journalism, and then now people who actually have gone to school, for journalism are his rivals, and he just was like, oh no, I like hear a bit of gossip and just report it as fact and embellish it. Like Dave Meltzer is like every single here we go back baby, every single story we were told as stand-ups when we were 25 about that guy, where it's like just like, yes, he did have a sandwich, no he did not shove it down a woman's throat at the gig.
Yeah. Oh my God. Also completely exactly that. And
but they do that in sports media too. Like
I do. Because Barstool and the aggressive sort of like the in your face nature of sports journalism, in that like the idea where it's not just sort of like, so coach, you think they're going to do well this Sunday? More like, so coach, your microphone was on and you referred to the opposing team as well, I don't really know what this word is, but yet I somehow know it means black person, and it's not a compliment. Do you have any comment? Like that's the difference in legitimate sports journalism. What's happened in wrestling journalism is exactly what you said. Plus, those journalism students have started just asking people that aren't just wrestlers Dave Meltzer wants to be friends with. Like they just started asking office staff and getting way better scoops. Like what it's definitely become clear is like Fightful Select just calls like the accountant at AEW. CM Punk work there anymore? No, I fired him. Well, you don't know what kayfabe means. Who's that? Goodbye. Like that's the difference.
Yeah, like that you actually have, and you have like reliable sources and double check your sources. You don't just have one guy like you're talking to someone in the mob.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. You know, oh God, Dave Mel. What do you think Dave Meltzer's breath's like? I feel like it's very specific. Like, do you have a lot of pickles? Yeah.
I think he thinks mints have caffeine in them, so he's probably on like whatever he does, like whatever weird thing he ingests, he definitely ingests like 90 of them a day. Like he has like 90 just after dinner mints.
I know the answer to this question. Do you think Dave Meltzer stands for the national anthem?
I do.
He does not.
That's good.
More than one person I saw who saw him at wrestling, not for political reasons. He just doesn't. He didn't want to stand up. He was just telling people how he thought the card was going to go.
Yeah, he's a weird guy at a wrestling show who made a newsletter. Like, do you know how big these fucking newsletters are? Of course he purports things that are half true.
Yeah, guys, what the fuck? Like, he was reporting that Chris Benoit was dead 2 weeks before Chris Benoit killed his family.
Yeah, which is a scoop. His scoop was Chris Benoit's going to kill his family, but I'm going to let it happen because I need the views.
Yeah, what people don't fucking talk about is how many times Dave Meltzer has said that Sandy Hook was an inside job. He didn't get fucking sued one time by those families, Alex Jones. You got to do it like Dave.
They booked it. They booked it so the kids would take a rough pin, but in the end, anyway, the no, yeah, Dave Meltzer. I don't know, man. He's also old.
No,
I don't know. He's a fascinating man.
I'm almost 40. Here's what I have figured out. People that were like 40 and like, oh, I'm old. You were just lying and being shitheads. Like people that are like, go fuck yourself. Above 60, then you say you're old. If one more person whose girlfriend is 25 tells me, oh, I'm too old, I'm going to be like, well, then you are too old because your girlfriend doesn't remember 9/11. But you shouldn't be saying it out loud. You come across as weird. Dave Meltzer's not old. Dave Meltzer's a nutbag. Let's not besmirch the elderly.
Dave Meltzer, how old do you think Dave Meltzer is?
51.
51. Dave Meltzer is 63.
Shit. Very, very much not close.
Yeah, because he was around. This is the thing.
Okay, it's official.
All of the journalist people,
Dylan,
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
He is old. He's above 60. He's old. You're right.
All of the journalists in wrestling owe a debt of gratitude to Dave Meltzer because he wholesale created this thing that they make their living off of. So there's no one who would ever, I guess now maybe a Gen Z person would just come in and just be like, okay, let's actually do a character study on how fucked this guy is. But there's none of the guys like Fightful, Post Wrestling, none of those guys would ever do anything about Dave Meltzer because they owe him such a debt of gratitude and they came up reading him. Like,
You're
there's
right.
no way they would ever go in and be like, this guy's fucked. His wife doesn't know him. His kids are fucked. Like, there's no way. Or maybe maybe he has a perfectly normal. Maybe he's like, I don't know. I watched a documentary about like Warren Buffett. Maybe he's just like, yeah, he's super crazy, but I don't know. We make it work.
I watched that documentary about Warren Buffett too. The one that's much more interesting is the one that's Warren Buffett's kids. That's the one where you're like, because Warren is in it for like one scene and his eyes are like, what do these little fucking snitches tell you? Like, it's very interesting.
Longest reigning knockouts champion. So she really only gets into America 6 years ago, and she's at 32.
Yeah, it's a very interesting situation. She very well. It's also that thing of like in the 2000s and 2010s, they're not really drawing women wrestlers. This is very much the fitness model era. So if she's in Mexico being a good wrestler, I assume that they're next. You know what I mean? Like they're just not going to be looking for her. So she can get. Fuck.
Well, in 2016, that's when the WWE abandons Diva as its branding of its performers.
Of course,
and she comes over in 2017. So that is her, like, you know what I mean? That's her, like, okay, well now I can come over.
This is also very much the 2015, 2016, 2017 was the era where they were like, can you finally make us a legitimate women's division? This is like the beginning and the bringing in of like Bailey getting super over and Paige getting super over. Like this is like them starting to roll. So obviously they're going to bring in Taya Valkyrie because you need to pad out that roster. She's also much more of a bruiser than the other women in that field. Like Nia Jax basically had a wrestling career because she just looked fucking intimidating. She was basically they called her the neck breaker, and it wasn't a compliment. You know what I mean? And I think that Taya Valkyrie probably fit into that same mold.
Why did she leave Impact Wrestling in 2021?
I believe it
What was
was
the storyline?
I have no idea what the storyline is.
She shot Johnny Bravo.
Come on. Is that fucking true?
Yeah, she shot him.
I got to tell you,
There was a whodunit who shot Johnny Bravo. Turned out she did, and then she left, and now she's back, baby.
Scott D'Amore has so much to answer for, and yet that guy is basically just like, if you just stay in an industry, they'll eventually just give you a salary.
Impact's fascinating too because it's also owned by like a Canadian conglomerate. Like it's owned by people who have, I mean, they don't rival the Khan family, but they're certainly like have a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's just one of the things. But also, I think they run on government grants. So it's like that's a weird thing in Canada where it's like if you know a good grant writer, just enjoy making whatever you're making. You'll make it till the end of time.
Yeah, unless they, of course, restructure it in some way, which they're going to have to do because eventually they're going to have to do a hearing because the Canadian Council for the Arts gave Grimes almost $1 million in grant money.
Yeah.
And she was married to the richest man in the world at the time. And when called on the point in a press release, and I'll never forget that, they went, we don't hold people's spouses' income as that person's income. And then everyone was like, that's your fucking defense? Your fucking defense is that the woman who's married to the richest man in the world, go fuck yourself. That's the other side of Canada.
Also, she wrote in it, they're on the rocks. So anyway, she's probably gonna fucking leave.
Now she's with
dumb
fucking
looking ass.
Now she's with Chelsea Manning in the most wild shit ever.
February 14th, Valentine's Day, she signs with WWE, and then she is fired in November.
It is a fascinating turnaround. This person gets to the WWE. I think she'll be back in the WWE at some point. Let me just say this about this person as a performer. The WWE needs someone like this, and I think she would pad out the women's wrestling roster very well. Basically, they need to exist in a post Ronda Rousey.
She won't be back because Vince is back.
She won't be back because Vince is back. And by the way, she won't be back because Vince is back, and they're going to sell to somebody.
So apart from that, legit, she comes in. Basically, it's NXT, old school NXT, and then it becomes NXT 2.0.
See you in hell, Taya.
Yeah, in months, and she's gone. Like, it just shows like how bad the communication between or how they'll just flip on a dime. Because literally, it was like NXT 2.0, fucking done now. She comes in as like part of. She would still be working there if NXT had beaten AEW in the ratings, but it didn't. So she got shipped out.
Yeah. What's even more interesting is so Vince is back now. It's interesting that she wasn't brought back in that hinterland period, but it is clearly that she is a Triple H person. Now, here's my question about Taya Valkyrie. Why do you think that she went back to Impact and not to AEW? Do you want to wildly speculate? I would like to.
Because AEW didn't want her at all?
Interesting.
I think it's pretty much like she's almost 40 and AEW's, if they're going to bring someone in, they're going to bring someone in who like
has name.
If they're that age, they're going to have ROH cachet from the mid 2000s, or they're going to be an ex WWE person. Like that's who they bring in now.
Do you find it crazy that AEW is like treating XR? I find it interesting that we're basically treating XROH people with the same like relevance to the business you would treat an ex WCW person, and I do like that. I do like that it's being given the same like, yeah, this was an incredibly influential and important company to the wrestling product you're watching now. It's just very interesting in this, and Taya really exemplifies this. Is one of those people that clearly seems like she found a place to get in where she fit in, but she just never really fucking made it on the main roster for whatever reason.
Well, it's the exact same thing as
with respect.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing as old oil money Carter family. What Dixie Carter thought of as successful wrestling was WCW from like 2000. And what Tony Khan thinks of successful wrestling is ROH in the mid 2000s. It's just your age. It's like if we bought a wrestling company, yeah, of course I'd be like all over signing all these ROH guys.
We would be, first of all, if we bought a wrestling company, we'd be arguing with each other because we need to save some money to re-sign all the ECW guys. Where's Kid Cash?
Yeah, I'd sign Balls Mahoney even though he's dead.
I would, you know what we're buying Balls Mahoney and New Jack's ashes, and we're pouring them on top of each other, and we're going to see who finally wins the final battle. That's the real final battle, Tony.
Oh, buddy. No, here's what would happen. First thing would like, all right, so if I buy AEW tomorrow, there's a match between, because you want everyone to like, obviously you want to start off on a really good, so I do the MJF Danielson match immediately, and that would like, I would like fast forward that and be like, whoa, it's opening. It's got a 2-hour time limit. This could be the whole, and then 2 seconds in the ring, attacked guy on masks. Who is it? Enzo Amore. Another guy, Joey Ryan.
Perfect.
Another guy, Harvey Weinstein.
Oh
Cosby's the manager, and then that's a heel stable, baby.
I gotta tell you, now that's something I'd call the firm right there. You know what I mean? Now that's
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Weinstein and Cosby, they have a match because they both want to like. It's just who goes to sleep first is the match. The match is that's the real 24-hour title, because if you fall asleep, someone's getting touched. They'll have a special division.
Jesus, yes. Fucking yeah. It's called Hollywood.
Women are not allowed in. That'll be a division where no one's ever like, how come women can't be in that division? That'll be men's only, and for good reason.
Yeah, women are relieved.
And also 60 plus.
Yeah, exactly.
60 plus division that's just for touching.
No, what's weird is Bully Ray signs with AEW just to join that faction. Like, he's just like, I don't have any of these accusations, but you guys seem to know what I like. And they're like, wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tommy Dreamer would also be in there.
Oh, my God. Hell
Is it actually bad what they're doing? The people are asleep. They don't even know what's happening.
Yeah. Is it bad what they're doing? I'm not someone here to pass judgment.
Oh, yeah. Ric Flair would be in there. It'd be a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Marty Jannetty, flanked by his family.
Oh, right. Yeah. Marty Jannetty. Yeah. What's that noise? Oh, that's the sound of many people crying. Marty must be on the way. He makes them walk.
But I think this is why I think this is why Impact. Also, I think it's weird that like Impact has featured female wrestlers so much for so long and still calls it the Knockouts division.
Yeah, the thing with Impact, and you can never forget this, is it's been run by so many people who later went to rehab. So just like the fact that they've remembered that women were employed this whole time, that's the victory.
It's been solidly under Scott D'Amore for quite some time. And the thing is, when they lost funding, Scott D'Amore took over. So it's like Impact has been pretty consistently coherent for years.
Yes,
but no one cares because it wasn't when they had their actual shot to be what AEW is now.
Yeah, so they basically, if they were as coherent and interesting as they are now with their various people getting murdered angles, I think that they would have be far more remembered and have far more of an amazing base, as opposed to now where like it's insane to think that Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, and Samoa Joe was a match that happened in the same company as how long they did the Aces and Eights storyline.
Yeah, man. They committed to that storyline for years.
Ugh.
But the crazy thing about Aces and Eights is like it just shows that like wrestling can't be written this long term, because if you were to like the NWO angle, if you were to like actually write that out over the duration of the Aces and Eights storyline and have that conclusion to it, the NWO would have been one of the most satisfying storylines in wrestling history. But they just were like, okay, we'll start this Aces and Eights thing and here's what'll happen. But no one liked it, and they were like, too fucking bad. This TV show's not being canceled.
Yeah, like it was the most insane thing. What was even crazier was it was like, you know, the lessons we should have learned from the NWO? That's right. We have not learned them, but still going to bring this into fucking port. It's fucking wild.
You know, the NWO? Yeah. Well, what if the leader of the NWO was Jerry Sags?
Yeah, I know what you're all wondering. Who could be behind the NWO? That's right. It was Sags all along.
But that's the thing about how the perception of the Aces and Eights storyline is like, Bully Ray was amazing in Impact, but like anyone who flips by, so he's like, oh, I guess Bubba Ray Dudley's pretty jacked now. Why is he the star?
Again, not that jacked. It's more like,
no, he was not that jacked.
Bubba Ray Dudley. Guess he quit drinking. That's what it looked like.
He
did. Like
he took off the fat, and it's like, whoa, there's a lot of muscle under there.
Yeah, I guess. Hey, Hey, that guy. He
We were talking about that this week. I guess the episode will come out this week, but he's Bubba Ray Dudley, when he lost weight, he's one of the guys who is like old school Stan Hansen muscle, where it's like,
Oh,
I got a bit of an apron that comes over the old trunks, but look at this fucking chest. Just broad chest, everything else, fuck off.
Yeah, you can show a movie on my chest, any other portion of my body. Shut the fuck up. Hey, everybody. I'm wearing. Also, he was part of that time that I really enjoy. And can we just go back to this for Aces and Eights, which no one's talked about? Oh, I just said Aces and Eights and woke up the cat, which is, it was during that time when people who liked the show Sons of Anarchy were really into making motorcycle gangs seem cool. And you're just like, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
There was a Sons of Anarchy only store in the town my mom moved.
There more than one, baby. Oh my God. Yeah. It was basically people were like, are you into West Coast custom choppers? I am. Well, now there's a TV show about those guys doing crimes.
My main problem with The Wire was that it's not about a white gang. That was pretty much Sons of Anarchy. But anyway, Taya Valkyrie beats Tessa Blanchard.
Thank God.
And yes. Tessa Blanchard then, of course, moves on to win the Impact title after saying the N-word a ton. But thank God, yeah. And Taya Valkyrie also longest reigning Knockouts champion ever. And at this point, she's like 36. So it's like she's definitely I can't make a distinction. Is she very lucky that women's wrestling got to the point it is? Or because this is the only time in history she would have really had a career like this.
She's incredibly lucky. That's a great point to make. I do think it's weird that she's never really been given an opportunity in the Fed at all. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that.
She had an NXT title match.
Oh, whoopsie fucking do. So's Bo
I
Dallas.
think it's just in their mind you can only have so many like muscular women on television. Like, you can only have one of them. I think from their perspective.
I know, which is a stupid perspective. I don't. The main complaint I would have is it's again you have the opportunity if your fan base is calling for you to have both male and female centric matches, then you're basically just like expand your roster in every way. Get everyone. You have 3 types of everyone on one side, get 3 types of everyone on both sides, especially when you're running 6 hours of television a week, you motherless fucks.
Yes, but like from their perspective, like think about someone like Natty Neidhart. Natty Neidhart came into the WWE swole as hell and just over her career has slowly chipped away at that physique and is now just kind of like, you know, maybe like 150, 160 pounds.
I assume, by the way, you're referring to when she came in and her gimmick was get this fat fuck off our television.
Oh, yeah. Or she's chunk and she's old and she was like 26. Think about that. She was like 26 and she's 26. Look at this garbage dumpster.
Yeah, 26, 130. Could someone please get this old pig off my television?
Yeah, piggy, oink, oink.
Oink, oink, oink. Walker. Poink, point. Oink, 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 oink. Poink.
But you really saw the WWE and how they book things because she loses to Raquel Gonzalez and then Raquel Gonzalez shortly afterwards loses the title to Mandy Rhodes.
Fuck yeah. And then Mandy Rhodes went on to lose the title to OnlyFans, if I understand that story correctly.
No, a different one.
Oh, pardon me. Fan Gentleman, I think it's called.
Yeah, fan yum time.
Yeah, it's called Fans. It's called Fan Flaps.
That's it is crazy how like I don't know if you've subscribed to an OnlyFans, but it's
I have not. Have you actually? I don't know anyone who has subscribed to an OnlyFans. Have you?
You don't know anyone?
Pardon me.
You don't know anyone who's talked to you about it.
There it is.
OnlyFans. Here's what OnlyFans is. It'd be like if you
look at me, you piece of shit. Have you subscribed to an OnlyFans?
Yes.
There we go. Good for you.
Here's what OnlyFans is. It'd be like if I made all this fucking honestly, we can't because we're talking to patrons right now, but we basically deliver the exact same quality stuff to our Patreon as we do to our main feed.
Okay.
But an OnlyFans would be like the quality wise, it'd be like if you go on if you went on listen to our podcast, you're like, I'll subscribe to that. You get an extra episode or 2 a month. And then we just released the episode was just like a 5-minute us, but we were doing dishes at the same time.
Okay, so that's the free one, or is that the Patreon one?
So the OnlyFans is you pay for like subscription, and a lot of the girls, what they'll do is you pay like $8, but then they just try and sell you videos, and most of it is just like, here's a picture of me after I went for groceries, and it's just them. They just snap a quick pic while they're like changing, and then are like, fucking jack off to that, you fucking worm, and they're like, oh, you want to see me have sex? That's $50 extra. So every single OnlyFans I've done, I've subscribed when I was horny, and then been like, what have I done? And then just unsubscribed.
See, this is why I've always avoided. 'Cause the only time I've ever been like, OnlyFans is a good idea is when I had like a raging chubster. So I'm always like, this is not a time to make a financial decision.
But it does make sense because I'm like, this sounds so middle aged of me, which I am, so whatever. But I was like, well, I shouldn't just JO to these people for free. I should give them something.
I think that's true. The only people that on OnlyFans that made me want to sign up was there was a couple of people where I was like, wait a minute, that person's doing it. I wouldn't mind.
But those are the people.
Out.
This is the thing where it's like,
but that's why I was like, but no,
you can't even guarantee quality because they don't post anything. Like you'll sign up for them based off of an Instagram, so it's like you can't guarantee anything. So it'll just be like, ooh, what's their OnlyFans like? And they get $5 out of you, and it's literally like, here's me lugging groceries up the stairs and I slip.
Here's the other thing that I also want to say is people who do pornography, they're professionals. That's why you watch it and you're like, goddamn right, that's what a goddamn thingamajigger sounds like, my friend. You know what I mean?
I need some fucking lighting, not just like a video of you real close up jacking off, because then it
barely paying the professionals. I'm not paying some amateur, you know what I mean? I'm giving my hard-earned eyeball time to Lisa Marie. She's a pro. What else is she gonna do besides?
A lot of the lure, I will say, is not for us for OnlyFans. A lot of the lure seems to be for like a lonely fans who like. Because a lot of it's like.
Yeah, no, a lot of it's
the recreation of like, this girl's your girlfriend, where it's like, I don't want that.
How many different things do we have to turn into guys getting a girlfriend? Everything comes down.
The whole world is just people want to talk to other people, but don't want to actually do it because they don't know how.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what everything is. And also, we turn everything into that. Isn't the same way that everything becomes email eventually? Everything becomes an email.
I know the world is fucked. I was walking by a pub and there was like 3 old guys smoking outside, and they're just like fat old guys smoking. I was like, 10 years ago, I would have thought that sad. Now I'm like, look how mentally healthy these 3 men are. They have friends outside and hobbies. They're not just like doom scrolling. Those guys don't doom scroll. They have 6 beers and then their wife's pretty pissed, but they just surf by that and they go to sleep.
Yeah, their doom scroll is whatever their wife thought they were supposed to be doing. Instead, they were getting real fucked up at a. What the fuck is the pub chain? You see?
No. It's not even a pub chain. No, here's the move. It's always a country and then social club.
Yeah, oh, in Toronto, of course. Oh my god,
the Polish social club, and then it's just like a bunch of chairs that you would set out if you had to buy chairs in a hurry, and there's no tables and one dartboard and just a big someone's TV from home playing sports.
I will be forever angry that they got rid of this. The Portuguese Men's Alliance Club at the corner of Bloor and Ossington after midnight. They for sure advertised this, sold smokes, and it was the best.
That was the thing. Yeah, there was like they would show UFCs at some place and you could smoke inside. That once they had the fucking hilarious where they would just do a lock-in and you could smoke inside after 1:30.
Did you ever go to any of those weird? They were mostly all shut down by the cops by the time you moved to London. But up in Wood Green, behind some of the Turkish restaurants, in sheds, they just set up bars where you could just smoke, and it was the best.
That sounds exactly like what the doctor ordered.
I went twice. I've been twice to them. My friend Nate told me about them, and it was literally like, it was clearly they were like, these fucking pigs like booze. And so like it was like if you described to someone what a bar was, but you didn't know. So it was, I just remember this, it was a shed where the guy was and he had all the beer and it was raining and you just stood behind this restaurant and drank beers while he was warm. And I was always like
anyway, yeah, Tara Valkyrie's back in Impact.
Yeah, didn't make much of
the WWE thing, especially since WWE, they were about to buy a house, her and her husband, John Morrison, and then thank God WWE released them, I guess, in November, because they could have bought a house and then been like, fuck.
Yeah, that's right. And now he's Johnny Elite.
I guess he was for a minute. Mostly John Morrison just lives like us. I think we discovered this on our John Morrison episode where he like spent all his WWE money just making a movie where he gets to do karate.
Fuck yeah. No, yeah, John Morrison. I remember that episode because I remember the big takeaway was John Morrison's a lot weirder than you guys really ever suspected.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people, myself included, were mad that like he was in competitive matches with CM Punk back then, and then you, as an adult, you're like, John Morrison should have won all those matches.
Yeah, John Morrison. Yeah, it's very funny. CM Punk. We're gonna end as all wrestling podcasts do end, talking about CM Punk, even though he had nothing to do with what we were originally talking about.
Oh, also I want to say this: she also got fucked over again because not only was she supposed to be in NXT, but she was gonna be in Glow, but then Glow got canceled too. So she's had a rough couple fucking years.
Fuck, that fucking sucks. It's funny. I never watched an episode of Glow. Also, Glow was the last TV show people told me that you saw someone's boobs in. I'll always remember that. It's like,
oh yeah, Alison Brie's boobs. Fuck yeah, fucking yeah.
So many people were like, "Have you watched Glow?" And I was like, "I have not." And they're like, "You see, you know the brunette from the Community? You see her jugs." I was like,
that's honestly one of the best ways to like hook someone is just first time jugs.
No, it's the best way to hurt someone, people our age, because we were so trained in that time where it's like because we've been wild things to the point where literally if you're just like, there's jugs in this, there's still a part of me that's like, put it on. Like if you were like, put it on. I just need to confirm that there are jugs.
I guarantee like it is way smarter where it's like women like that now. Like Jennifer Love Hewitt would just have an OnlyFans where it's like, yeah, I do one topless photo. Because like it's crazy to me that's like you do a whole photo shoot.
You do know Jennifer Love Hewitt is the living embodiment of the gimmick you always wanted them to give Charlotte Flair, right?
Which she just sucks people off and calls them a loser.
Like literally, just like she had like 3 fiancés going, and one of them was like, "You're cheating on me," and she was like, "Yeah, man, I'm Jennifer fucking Love Hewitt." And it was like, wait, you get like more, you fuck more than one person? And she's like, yeah, I'm fucking famous and I want to get fucking cream pied.
Do you know what the year 2000 is? Because that was, I can't act. They gave me a show where I can sing. I can't sing. Yeah. That's how hot I am. They just let me do things. If I asked politely, I could have been the vice president, not the president, but for sure vice president. A Gore Love Hewitt ticket.
Do you understand in 1998, if you were thin with double D's, you could sure just set off a nuclear weapon?
Yeah. She did bring a gun to work, but look at that. Maybe she wears a bra.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait a minute. What do you mean she full stabbed the head of catering? But she was doing it, and I could see her bra strap. Give her a raise.
She told us where she gets her bras, so we can go look at them at lunch if you want. Okay, yeah.
I knew a guy.
And that's a 35-year-old man, by the way, who's making that decision. Oh yeah, we can go look at her bra. Oh yeah,
fucking cool, mom.
Man, we shouldn't be allowed to talk about female wrestlers. We just had an earnest discussion about OnlyFans instead of talking about this person's career.
I'm very happy that we didn't talk about this person's career. She should have done more to achieve. I'm just saying. I sit in judgment of you, Taya Valkyrie. You could beat the shit out of me, and I don't give a fuck.
Taya Valkyrie is a very sure Tara. Let's end on it's a lesson in the more things change, the more they stay the same, because basically she just came in, oh, you're a better wrestler and you're more believable as a wrestler than all these other girls. Well, they are more what would you say? They are more appreciated for their looks than you, so we're gonna push them.
I'm gonna show you how it went. Okay, I'm gonna be the executive.
Imagine if male wrestling was booked like this, where it's like, okay. I guess it's kind of is, but it's like, hey, Roman Reigns, you're the champ like for a while, but this guy's got a fucking 9-inch hog, so he's gonna win the title.
This is what exactly it is. It's like, hey, Tara, it's Taya. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So the other girls have more. I don't know how to say this delicately. More. I want to look at them than you. So if you could just, the door is that away, Chiquita Banana. You know what I mean? Like they're just, like,
yeah, that really sucks too.
This is Nick Khan. Hi. Yeah.
You think Nick Khan knows any of the wrestlers' names? I think he knows Roman Reigns, and then he'll
but he's not sure which one is Roman Reigns.
Yeah. There's that guy too.
Yeah. Oh, look. It's Eddie, but he has a bunch of nicknames for Roman Reigns. It's old Sammy's friend. He has no idea who Sammy is.
Yeah, he just like frantically looks up who's Greek because that's probably who Roman is, and they're like, "Wait, he's Samoan."
For fuck's sake! I smashed a bunch of plates.
uh, oh yeah, Tara Valkyrie. Then that's why she was really emotional about the NXT thing because she was like, after all these years, they said I couldn't do it. I'm at this point. She gets signed to NXT. She's what 38.
Oh my god, that's so sad. They said
and then,
I couldn't do
I'm
it.
finally gonna do it. I'm
You're
finally gonna
fired.
get. And then but also like it's the end of the pandy, and she gets to fucking get a job for a bit, so that's not bad. And she's saying like she got to do all the indies again after the pandemic's lifted, so
Dylan,
she gets to be basically back doing it what she's doing, and she's a lot more of an asset on the indies. Rounds out a card a lot more than being like in the NXT women's title picture, even though that's her dream and that's what she wanted. So I'm just...
Dylan, when we were coming towards the end of the pandemic, did you enjoy when people refer to it as the panacea or the panna cotta?
I never had that, but I would do that.
Oh yeah, you would.
The Pandarosa, I would say.
Oh,
that.
welcome to the pan fried pizza.
That's good stuff. Hopefully, there's going to be a new pandemic. Remember when everyone tried to? What was that one? That was just by fucking
Monkeypox.
Monkeypox. Remember when it was like monkeypox is coming? That's sick.
like, no,
That's
it's
going to
not.
work on us for the rest of our lives.
It's not. It doesn't work on me at all anymore. I was like, we did this once. There's one every 100 years. We just had ours. Fuck off.
Oh, she's fucking in. Taya Valkyrie is.
She's in the NWA now.
NWA,
She's in
MLW, Impact Wrestling.
Oh, she's doing great. I mean, the NWA. I gotta say this right now. How's that doing? I haven't looked in.
It's bad.
Like not even Nick Aldis is there now.
Brodus Clay is their champion.
Brodus Clay is their the guy from Fox
Billy Corgan's
News?
like, listen, people need to be big.
Is that
And and Billy Corgan does think that Fox News will.
I mean, he's not wrong.
There's a wrestling guy who we did the show. His name's Josh, and he was like, people forget how good Smashing Pumpkins pre-1990. He said, no, I think his tweet exactly was, Smashing Pumpkins post-1998 is so bad, it makes you forget how good the Smashing Pumpkins in 1996 was. And it's very
100%.
He's like, it's honestly a accomplishment to be that bad. Like, what if the Beatles kept going and made music so bad that everyone was like, I don't care what those albums are called. This one sucks.
They absolutely did. There was some
Sorry, go for it.
The Beatles solo albums are just like what was like John Lennon got.
Yeah, but there's a fucking separation.
Absolutely. But there's also like that number 9. That song stinks. Number 9.
Yeah, but at least it's like a different thing. It's like that they can't try. You know what it is? I guess like the Smashing Pumpkins are a much lesser successful version of the Rolling Stones, where everyone's like, the Rolling Stones have a new album out. What is it? It's mostly Mick Jagger just trying to figure out how to use Facebook. And then Keith Richards coughing into a guitar. I bought it.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I mean, it's I just
good.
never believed that they were like any of those bands. Like Smashing Pumpkins was like they had the Infinite Melancholy Sadness or whatever the fuck that's called. The world is a van. That's
but also we were 11, so I guarantee it's like you probably got a fucking.
That's a good point too. We were 11, so it's also that thing of like we. Our fucking cool bands hadn't been invented yet. Looking at you, Fred Durst.
So, Taya Valkyrie, thank you. Hopefully you never hear this, because if I did, I'd be insulted. But we love you, and we care about
Taya
you.
Valkyrie, we are sorry for what we said about you. We do not stand by it. You're great. The only people that we intended to offend with this podcast were Mike Sanders and his fucking dog. We planned that on purpose. Fuck you. You're naturally born to thrill my asshole.
Suck me off, eat me out. We'll be back at some point with some other show.
Fuck you.